miss the days when I believed in patterns. Thought gains would fill the parts I left behind. But charts don't call you back, and when your cash runs out, you're just a name on a margin call reply. We speak in different tickers. When betting on the ones we trust, we speak in different tickers. Why can't we say we've lost too much? I'm bleeding red in places I forgot I had. I watch your faith break like a candlestick, and I don't know where to begin. We speak in different tickers. When betting on the ones we trust, we speak in different tickers. Why can't we sell what we're thinking of? You called it luck, I called it execution. You held your heart like a long expired call. I hedged and let it fall. And now your voice just echoes through resistance. Dead cat bow. I should have shorted when you let me dot. We speak in different tickers. When betting on the ones we trust, we speak in different tickers. Why can't we say we've lost too much? I'm bleeding red in places I forgot I had. I watch your faith break like a candlestick, and I don't know where to begin. We speak in different tickers. When betting on the ones we trust, we speak in different tickers. Why can't we sell what we're thinking of? Maybe I'll hold, maybe I'll fold. Maybe this pain is profit I never sold. You broke it open, I closed that pain. We both played God and lost the game. I'm bleeding red in places I forgot I had. I watched your faith break like a candlestick, and I don't know where to begin. We speak in different tickers. When betting on the ones we trust, we speak in different tickers. Why can't we sell what we're thinking of?
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where I'm Matt, your Kohrs, and together we might just be able to put a show on the internet today. Folks, yesterday was pretty brutal. Up until 1 p.m., things were looking good. Not the most bullish day we've ever seen, but the bulls were clearly in control. And then all of a sudden, there was a 20-year bond auction. And unfortunately, like all my birthdays growing up, no one showed up. And when people don't want to buy the U.S. Treasuries, it sends some shockwaves throughout the entire market. And that's exactly why equity started to fall and fall and fall and fall. And that's also most likely why gold and Bitcoin, digital gold, started to pump and pump and pump. And now we're here. It is the day after. We're here to find out, will the, tumble of yesterday be bought up? Are the bulls actually saying this is a great dip buy opportunity? Or are they more so saying, there's a bit more pain and the bears are about to take control of the reins and send this thing lower because we do have some important downside gap fills? Folks, if I knew the definitive answer to that, I would not be here. I'd be ripping some Mai Tais, some pina coladas on a beach somewhere, wealthier than God herself. But I don't. We're going to be here, and we have that 50-50 shot. We have some reports this morning. We have other things to get into at market open and later on today. And I should let you guys know, at 1 p.m. Eastern, just after lunch, there's another bond auction today, the 10-year tip. So it's not the normal 10-year note auction. This is a 10-year tips auction. But regardless, there is another auction today. So yeah, especially with what happened yesterday, people are going to freaking be paying attention. So I just want to call that out now because most likely that's going to be happening obviously after we are done with the stream. So I want to put that on everyone's radar. You have no one to blame but yourself if you're not paying attention to the bond auction once again today, 1 p.m. Eastern. And between now and then, we have other stuff going down that we got to pay attention to. So, today's show is basically the tale of two different stories. If you are exclusively an equities person, a bullish equities person, you're saying to yourself, fuck, what in the world is going on? On the other side, if you are exclusively a bullish crypto, more specifically Bitcoin person, you're saying, dude, new all-time highs. My account hasn't been here before. This is a time to be alive. So really, depending on what part of the casino you're in, you're having a different vibe. And if you're one of my degenerates who enjoys playing two different games in this particular casino, equities and crypto, you probably has mixed feelings. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, one of my pockets is getting a bit deeper and the other one's getting a bit lighter. So you're probably at the show today with mixed feelings. I mean, you're seeing one account go up, you're seeing the other account go down, and here you are trying to figure out, you're almost crying out of one eye in the shower while the other eye has like a little glimmer of excitedness, happiness. And hey, we've all been there. It's confusing times for sure. So, what I'll be doing today is a breakdown of kind of what played out yesterday. I'll be doing my best to explain it so we're all kind of on the same page of why yesterday's poor bond auction results led to the sell-off. It's going to be a conversation about literally why a bad bond auction is bad, and then also just the fact that we're in a low liquidity environment. So when we start to move, we can really start to move. So of course we'll be getting into that. Then I want to prep you up for what to pay attention to today, and then we're going to get into some technicals and key levels and some really interesting things that I found this morning going down in the options market. So I hope that sounds good to all of you. As we've been doing this entire week, folks, if you can rip those likes up to 500, I will give you the tarot card reading of the day so we can know exactly where the market is going. We can go from trying to figure out this very difficult infinite variable puzzle of where the market's going, putting all this information together. We could play it on hard mode, or we could go to easy mode and just do the tarot cards. So if you guys want the tarot cards, let me know, smash that like button, and I'll look at it after we go through everything that I've already prepped for the day. But before we get to all of that, a very special shout out to Upside. Check that out. It is right there. Download it. It is free. This is a very, very cool app. We partnered up with them last summer. We're partnering up with them again this summer because it is a way for you to earn cash back. I'm not talking about some weird points or anything like that. I'm talking about legit cash back. You could use it at grocery stores, restaurants, and gas stations. Those three things obviously going to be massively popular this summer when we're all traveling, doing what we do in the summer. So if you want to earn real cash back, once again, on gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants, check this out. All you have to do is accept the current offer. You're going to see it. They're partnered up with over 100,000 of these businesses. You can, basically what you would do is here, I could show you. I'll make this real simple. So right there, you can see by me in New York, there's a mobile gas station where right now I would accept that offer for 56 cents off per gallon of gas. You accept it, you do your purchase the way you normally would, and then there's a little process you go through to show that you went through and actually did the purchase, and then that's when you earn the cash back. Every single week, Upside is paying out $1 million in aggregate cumulatively to its users. The average user is saving about $280 or earning $280 cash back per year. Obviously, there's power users who are earning back thousands and thousands. So it's basically this simple. What this app does right here, once again, download it. It is 100% free. You basically, the stuff you're normally buying, gas, grocery stores, restaurants, you just earn cash back on it. So highly recommend you checking it out. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. If you use that link, you're going to get a bonus 25 cents off on your first gallon of, or your first tank of gas. So 25 cents per gallon, first tank of gas. Use that code Kohrs. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Highly recommend you guys all check it out. And with that being said, shout out to Upside. Let's take a little looky-see at the market today. Dow futures fall 200 points as yields continue the March higher on costly tax bill. So here's a looky-see at the market. Obviously, yesterday we were good up until 1 p.m., aka 13 o'clock, and then we puked. In pre-market trading, we were kind of green. Then there was some hesitation going into the initial jobless claims at 8:30. As you can tell, the market like that. And now we're getting, excuse me, a bit of a pop. So we were bearish. We broke the low from yesterday, and now we are recovering. And we're actually just above the closing value from yesterday, a little bit in the green. On a very positive note, we have Bitcoin trading at 111,000. As of right now, the all-time high is clocking in just below 112,000, which is also why I'm watching the likes of MicroStrategy, Coin, Mara, Riot, obviously the crypto-related plays. So paying close attention to what's going on there. So we're going to get into crypto, but before that, let's explain what really went down yesterday. And this is a look at the daily chart. You can see we're actually potentially putting in a top. So if we don't catch ourselves, there's a real legit shot of this downside gap fill at 5691. On the flip side, in pre-market, it is looking a little bit green. So I'm not trying to be like a Debbie Downer or anything like that. But this could... It's a tough call. It's one of those things where it's 50-50. This could be that dip into the EMA cloud that the bulls, they sign up and they say, hey, we are here to rip it. And people who miss this pump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, they might be using this opportunity to finally get in and do the purchasing. Or the people who wrote it up, if they sell aggressively, remember we are in a low liquidity environment, we might be coming down to that downside gap fill. So why yesterday was red can be shown in this chart right here. This is the 20-year yield of the 20-year bond from the government, the treasury, the 20-year treasury. You can see that yesterday we popped, and unfortunately ever since early April, that's what we've been doing. We've just been popping higher and higher and higher. Remember, as yields go up, that is generally not good for the equities market. And this particular time, it is uniquely not good. And let me explain that. But as you can see here, Treasury yields a little changed as U.S. fiscal deficit concerns take center stage. So right now, the market, particularly the fixed income market, is running into various issues. As of the most recent readings, inflation expectations are actually going up. I know right now, if you listen to the administration, we are just being told time and time again that we beat inflation. It is time for the Fed to cut rates, and that'll help lower the yields, and we've defeated this monster called inflation. Unfortunately, the data we're getting is actually suggesting a different story. It is suggesting that inflation in the coming months is expected to go up. Not so good. So you have the government running a wild deficit. We have expectations of higher inflation. So government spending issue, inflation expected to increase. And right now it's basically signaling that the Fed will not be cutting rates until the earliest at September. There was hopes of June. There was hopes of July. And those hopes are quickly being dashed. And we're now maybe we get a 25 bips rate cut in September. So basically, don't be holding your breath on a rate cut. And this is now all happening with a bill, the big, beautiful bill. And if you look at what's going on in the big, beautiful bill, it's not really going to really mitigate any of these current issues. Once again, the government deficit, higher inflation expectations, and the fact that the Fed is not cutting rates because of the higher inflation expectations. So up until this moment, they've been able to kind of keep a cap on things. You notice how the 20-year yield ran into 5%, got rejected, ran into 5%, got rejected, ran into 5%, got rejected. They've been able to keep a cap on yields, or another way you could look at it is a kind of a floor on bond prices themselves by basically telling us good news related to the trade war. That's been the plan. There's a lot of not so good pressure in the fixed income market. As you can see, the 20-year bond has just been getting absolutely destroyed, which is going to be directly correlated with the 20-year yield going up. Remember, they move inversely. So the tactic that they've been using to kind of put in these floors is giving us good news of the trade war. Of, hey, we made a trade deal with the UK. We are talking with Japan. We are talking with South Korea. We are talking with Vietnam. Everyone wants to talk with us. Argentina even reached out. Israel reached out. India reached out. Hey, surprise. we came to a short-term understanding with China and we have 90 days to figure it out there. That's been the tactic to kind of really stop this disaster. But what yesterday tells us is that idea of like, oh, okay, the administration just has to say something positive about trade to kind of keep things calm, that's no longer working. The ace that they had up their sleeve, it's already been played. So the question here is like, okay, what's going to actually be going on in this market? And obviously, a lot of it is causing some people to be freaked out a little bit. So I don't want to be here and be more of this like doomsday guy, because whenever people do it, I don't know, like bears don't get paid. In the long run, it pays to be a bull in this market. I'm talking about the actual legit long-term investing. But as a short-term trader, these are the types of things you have to pay attention to, which means right now you have to pay attention to what's going on and something that's going to be directly impacting it. What the fuck did I just say? The Republican spending bill is sending yield soaring and creating a major market headache. So this is kind of the 1, 2, 3 combo punch. On Friday after market close, we got the Moody's report that they are downgrading the U.S. credit because they're citing our government spending. The deficit is growing. It went from AAA to AA1. That's how Moody's did it. Fitch and S&P in August of last year already downgraded the U.S. credit. Once again, you could argue if it's political or not, it doesn't really matter, but they're all basically citing the fact that especially relative to GDP, our debt deficit, it's growing too rapidly. The magnitude of our debt is manageable, but the pathway it's on is simply too rapid. So that's the reason for the downgrade from the perfect one to basically a level below. And a lot of people are basically saying, like, how in the world is this going to be handled? So that came out after the market closed on Friday. It caused the gap down on Monday. Then from there, fast forward to yesterday, where at 1 p.m. we had the 20-year bond auction. If you look at the yield from that auction, it was higher than expected, as in bond prices were lower than expected, which means that people buying bonds from the government, there was less of an appetite than anticipated. That's not good. The bid to cover ratio was lower than expected. The yields were higher than expected. Those are both bearish indicators of the auction, as in there was less overall faith in the government paying this back. And that's basically saying that the market isn't buying what the administration is selling. And I'm not talking about it literally. Well, in a certain sense I am, because they're literally not buying US bonds. But on top of it, I mean it figuratively, of the story, the narrative that is being told of, hey, everything's under control. We are hunky-dory. We are tip-top shape. That narrative, people are clearly not believing it. That's what the auction yesterday showed us. So we have the Moody's downgrade citing U.S. government debt. Then we have a lackluster bond auction yesterday. People don't want to buy bonds, representing lack of a faith in the government. And then that leads to this, where it looks like as of Monday, they will be passing the big, beautiful bill. The Republican spending bill is sending yield soaring and creating a major market headache. As I said, it's the 1, 2, 3 combo. The U.S. debt and deficit situation is bad and facing real prospects of getting worse. Whether the recoil in financial markets continue is largely in the hands of policymakers. What it's meant in the market terms has been a severe leg up in treasury yields and a sell-off in stocks. I feel like the dam is finally starting to break a little bit, and there's too many holes in the dike to put our fingers in it. And this is just, I don't know, one of the analysts that they're talking to. And this is more of a medium-term call out. I'm not necessarily calling for today or tomorrow, but when we're going over this, remember, the larger economy, it's kind of like a slower moving thing. So these are basically the major narratives and speaking points that we're going to have to pay attention to probably throughout the summer session. Trump tax bill heads to the House floor for a vote after a last-minute changes. President Donald Trump's big, beautiful tax bill advanced to the House floor for a vote late last night. House Speaker Mike Johnson and party leaders made dozens of last-minute amendments to more than 1,000-page bill in an effort to unite moderates and hardline conservatives behind the package. The House Rules Committee passed the bill 8-4 after a marathon 21-hour markup. And then that leads us to this right here. Trump tax bill holdouts lured with the SALT hike and Medicaid cuts. So they are making progress on it. Basically, it got passed in the first chamber, and now we are going to be moving on to the second. And We're probably going to be getting some form of updates today, so I'd highly recommend turning on whatever your news notifications for this are. But this is like one important pillar of the overall situation where just from, I guess, being an informed citizen, you should be paying attention to that. But as being a degenerate trader, this is what's moving the fixed income market, specifically bonds and yields. And that's what's having an impact on equities right now because there's a bit too much stress in the fixed income market. So that's how it's all tied together. So even with all of that havoc, not everything is losing out. Bitcoin rally takes largest token past 111,000 for the first time. Ever since the start of April, that's when we officially started to see the decoupling of Bitcoin basically to the NASDAQ. For a long, long time, we had Bitcoin being directly related to the NASDAQ. It was viewed to be a risk-on asset with a hyper correlation to the tech sector, the NASDAQ 100. Starting in the beginning of April, people started to point out that the correlation was breaking down. I don't want anyone's eyes to gloss over. I know we're going back to algebra in high school here, but talking of the R squared value, remember R squared of 1 means it is directly perfectly correlated. -1 means directly inversely correlated, and an R squared value of 0 was basically there's no correlation whatsoever. So you're either directly, inversely, or no correlation, and it's a sliding scale between -1 to 0 up to 1. So for quite a while, we're talking for years, we had Bitcoin with not a correlation of 1, but depending on what time frame you're looking at, probably around a 0.7. So pretty correlated, but not exactly the same thing. Well, people started to notice about a month ago, about 6 weeks ago, that Bitcoin and NASDAQ, it was breaking, as in the correlation was dropping. And if anything, it started to pick up a correlation with gold, but even that wasn't so strong. So over the past 6 weeks, and I don't know if it's going to persist this way. I don't know if it's going to revert. I have no idea what's going on, but I could tell you in real time that Bitcoin is starting to behave as its own thing. We're not necessarily seeing a correlation with the equities market. We're not necessarily seeing a correlation with gold. Of course, there's some measurement, and once again, this is going to change on the time frame that you are particularly looking at. But if we're talking about the daily chart, the weekly chart, for the past 6 weeks, we've actually seen Bitcoin start to just behave as its own asset. Kind of a risk-on thing, but then also kind of maybe a flight to safety, or really it could just be inversely. If anything, the strongest correlation is now an inverse relationship to the US dollar, as in not necessarily a flight to safety when people are concerned about the equities market, but more of a flight to safety when people are concerned about the really DXY, the Dixie, the US dollar compared to whatever, the euro, the yen, the pound, all that good stuff. So that's actually the strongest correlation right now we're seeing with Bitcoin is an inverse relationship to the US dollar. So as the dollar's dropping, people are basically saying, hey, we want to retain a certain amount of our value, and we're seeing more people get into Bitcoin, and you could see this with massive inflows into Bitcoin ETFs. So right now, Bitcoin, a new all-time high, and for those of you in here who played it, a massive congrats to you. Bitcoin hits new record high above 111,000 as rally marches on. Bitcoin continued its rally today, Thursday, hitting a brand new record high above 111,000. So I believe a lot of you in here are, I don't know if you're actively trading it or if you're just invested in it. That's what I do. I don't really actively trade crypto. I'm invested in Bitcoin and I'm here for the ride. Whatever it does today, this week, it's always fun and exciting to watch it go up and up and up. But in reality, I'm going to be in this one for many years to come. So I'm just sitting on the Bitcoin that I have, and every so often I just add a little bit to it, just classic dollar cost averaging, and I'm riding this higher and higher and higher. So as I kind of started this show, today's going to be the tale of two different stories. If you are a Bitcoin person, investor, you are stoked. If you are a bull in the equities market, you are not so stoked. So we are seeing a clear disparity. And if you're like me, where you have kind of a foot in both of these particular boats, well, emotionally, you're getting pulled in two different directions. When you see one chart, you're feeling pretty freaking good. When you're seeing a different chart, maybe you're not feeling so good. So equities are under pressure right now, and I'll be doing the breakdown of the key levels, of course. And then crypto, specifically Bitcoin, is looking absolutely dominant right now. So Moving on to these key levels, as I've already been talking about it, let me go up here. If you look at SPX, we've had a really nice rip ever since this low on Monday, April 7th. Even at yesterday's close, we're still up 21%, and we're really not that far from the all-time high. We're only down 4.9%. That is quite the push. So even regardless of this fixed income bond news, you could just say this is a point for mean reversion. That's quite the pump, a 21% pump. At one point, we were up even more. We could have a natural breather and come down, get this bottom side gap fill. The EMA cloud is still bullish. We hit natural support. That could still be a higher low when we bounce off of it. So there is still a very real shot of a 2.6% drop, and the market is still bullish on this particular time frame. So I want to be very clear about that. And I suppose as a day trader, that would be scary. You're like, what's going on? But then when you zoom out, you're like, well, okay, that's just another higher low and we're cleaning up the chart. So it kind of depends on you and your time frame and how you're trading of what's bullish and what's bearish, because different time frames tell you completely different things. So I just want to clarify that this has been a nice pump. We're not that far from the all-time high on the daily chart. But then if you start to zoom in to what's going on recently, well, that's where you start to see some of the craziness. So above us, there is a little bit of a positive gamma node at 5860, but really above us, that's quite a bit of negative gamma. So what does that mean? Remember, negative gamma is not bullish or bearish. It just means slippery price action, as in when you get going, you can really get going in either direction of momentum. So in this case, because the negative momentum is on top of us, if we start to pump, we can really start to go. And I'm obviously looking at 5860 and 5900. Those are the two gamma nodes that are jumping out to me today on a 0 DTE perspective. Then you'll notice we have all this purple, all this blue below us. That is positive gamma. Once again, not bullish or bearish. That is more of sticky price action. It acts more of like a high gravitational field, and you get sucked into it, and that's all it is. And the reason we don't move there is because when it's positive gamma, the market makers aren't incentivized to hedge their book one way or the other, because they're already pretty much hedged. So if it goes up, they're going to sell. If it goes down, they're going to buy. So that gets that mean reverting. So basically, positive gamma is where you get more of mean reverting price action. Negative gamma is where you get more of trend following price action. So that's kind of what we're seeing on the full map. And this is the full chain put together. But let's really dive more so into the 0 DTE, which is on the left side here. I'm seeing a lot of sold puts. Remember, sold puts is what? It is positive gamma, which is why we are seeing all this purple down here, because a lot of people are selling premium, as in putting floors in on the day. The issue is that the first floor is being put in at 57.75, and that is about 75 points below where we are right now. So if we were to sell off today, the first floor is, of course, there's a baby floor at 5,800, and it's also a key psychological level, so there's a good chance people just react to it. But from an open interest perspective, the real first floor is being put in at 57.75. So we are seeing support, but I just want to be mindful of the fact that support is really not that close. It's 75 points away. Now, obviously, ever since that 8:30 initial jobless claims report, we're seeing a bit of a bounce. And if we can take out 5860, which is, once again, we're seeing some nodes over here, well, then maybe we go back up to 5900. I truly have no bias today. After a day like yesterday, where it wasn't necessarily just normal price action, you had a low liquidity environment and people dramatically reacted to a piece of bad information, the poor bond auction at 1 p.m. So I don't know how the market's going to wake up. The bulls could easily look at this as amazing dip buy and we pop right back up to 5,900 and everything's good. Or because we're up so much on the daily chart, people might just say, hey, this is time to lock in profits. I could easily see this breaking either way, which is why today, more than I normally do, we have to stress patience. There is no clear indication of who's in control right now in the very, very short time frame, which just means chill. We do not need to rush anything. So putting this all together, these are my key levels of the day. Here we have the SPX, and if you look as I normally do, but just to cover it again for new people, the green, the red, and the white line are the previous trading session, i.e. yesterday's high, low, and close, key technical levels, key pivot levels. The white box is the transition zone for the 0DT, gamma, and DEX. So the GEX and the DEX, just those Greek values. Above it, I would argue is bullish. Below it, I would argue is bearish. And within it, I would argue is choppy. And then the final thing are the yellow horizontal lines, which are the key open interest levels of the day, as in that's where traders are actively targeting. Those are those live strike prices where it has those big gamma nodes, whether positive or negative. So feel free to write these down. Feel free to screenshot this, do whatever you want. But in my book, these are the key levels of the day. And as we're in between these levels, I don't care. If we're on top of it, I'm bullish. I'm looking for us to play from one level to the next level. If we're below it, I'm bearish, looking for us to play from one level to the next level. In between the levels, I really don't care. I care about level breakouts. I care about level breakdowns. And like I said, in between, I just don't care because I'm paying attention to the key strike levels where we see a lot of money actively playing it. So once again, this is in the Discord for those of you who want to join. Feel free to screenshot this. Feel free to write it down. But I cannot stress this enough that today, more than normal, I will be waiting till past 10 a.m. to be doing anything just because I want to see how things are shaping up. And look at that. Perfect timing. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly. And if not, have fun. Remember, it's just money. You can't take it with you when you go. All right, we are opening up just below yesterday's low, so we are technically in the red, and we are also in the transition zone, which is another great reason to be doing nothing. Obviously, throughout the session, let me reload this, let me reload this, let me get rid of that, let me get rid of this, let me drop that. I will be showing you the options flow. Shout out to Spot Gamma. It is the best option analytics tool in the game. Let me get all these to the 1 minute so we can better see what's going on. I'll keep up MicroStrategy just because I know a lot of you guys have options on it, but obviously Bitcoin's going to be up on the top right above my head. But let's see what else is going on today. Well, I mean, it's pretty evident that crypto is where people are saying, all right, the general equities market is not where the fund's at right now. And there is a very, very evident billions of dollars of inflow to crypto right now. So you have Bitcoin at 111.5 thousand. You have MSTR up 4.6%. I was forced to, all of my risk got hit yesterday. For those of you who aren't in the Discord and you're just watching on the show, of course, if you want real-time breakdowns and all that good stuff, that's more of for the Discord, where whenever I trade, like as soon as I trade instantaneously, I put it in the Discord. But I had Tesla calls, I had Netflix calls, and I had Broadcom calls. I got rid of all of those. Netflix was a nice win, and unfortunately, I got my clock cleaned on Meta and Broadcom. But I did keep my MicroStrategy just because I viewed that to have a different correlation. I viewed it to have a correlation with Bitcoin rather than the overall market. So I'm happy I held on to that because it is looking good right now. This is my only live position. MSTR 450 calls for the June monthlies. I am up today 45%, but really all that matters is the unrealized. I'm up 10%, up about 2.2K. So nice to see a little bit of green because the swing positions I had yesterday getting murked. And then I also had some premium that I sold that also cost me about 24,000. So your boy this morning is definitely licking his wounds. But with this, I'm actually not that upset about the rise in vol, because with the rise in vol, technically you have the rise of like just opportunity. And from here, we're going from this we didn't really do anything for many days. I want range. We need these ranges again because you make big money from big ranges. So I am here for it. I just want to get on the right side of the range. So I want to get on the right side of the next trend, which is really why I didn't mind puking my positions yesterday, because that just puts me pretty much in cash, everything except for MicroStrategy. So whatever the next move is, I'll be able to take advantage of it. So that's what my current plan is, and we're going to see how things end up shaping up today. Obviously, the crypto-related names are looking pretty good. Palantir is also looking pretty good, up 2.4%. Tesla chilling at 335, Broadcom down to 228. Bitcoin's right there. MSTR 224. What's the daily chart looking like on MSTR? I want to move this one up. We took out that high from yesterday. Perfect. So my next target is the high from Friday, May the 9th. Really basic technical analysis up here at 430. But what I personally find to be more exciting about MicroStrategy is, let's do a quick breakdown of the gamma chart here. Why do I not have MSTR on this list? I was looking at it all night last night. Okay, so here's the gamma. Obviously, you have the individual strike nodes of where people are playing, but then you get the cumulative gamma with this, and basically there could be very realistically a push to 430. That's going to be this peak positive gamma node, and if we're fortunate enough to break that, well, then we could realistically talk about 450. So from a options perspective, the way we look at the nodes over here, where we're like, oh, like giant purple nodes, giant red nodes, that type of a thing, the equivalent for MicroStrategy as of right now from an options perspective is 430, and surprise, surprise, that is exactly this recent high, and then past that, we're talking 450. So that it's honestly that simple. Can we break above and get above 430? Because if we can, then we are looking for a transition from positive gamma to negative gamma, and that occurs at 450. So 430, 450, that is pretty much the setup. So as long as Bitcoin keeps showing this strength, I'm hopeful that we see that. We just took out the low from yesterday on the SPY. That is a technical breakdown. Not so good. The 5-minute is starting to fail. The 10-minute just broke down after a failed breakout. And you can see right here, I was just marking out the extremes where these were the major upside targets from the overnight session. We tried to get going to it. Looks like it's an early failure. And now we might be targeting these pre-market lows. Not liking the fact that if you're bearish, you like the fact that the 5-minute and the 10-minute did in fact get rejected. So if we can recapture here, maybe. It's not the most wild thing. We're still in the transition zone. I cannot stress this enough. We're technically not on the bearish side. We're technically not on the bullish side. For a 0 DTE perspective, we're still in that transition zone. We went up, we hit the closing value, we got smacked, and now we're just at that low value. And here's a look at the flow. The Mag 7 was picking up until 932, and we got smacked all the way down to 935. And then looking at the S&P 500, same thing. So the first 2.5 minutes, the bulls were in control, and then very quickly the bears got in control from an options flow perspective. I should also note, I could show you this here. Today at 9:45, in about 8 minutes, we are going to be getting some manufacturing and services PMI numbers, and then we're also going to be getting existing home sales at 10 a.m. So there's a data drop at 9:45, there's a data drop at 10 a.m., and then there's another bond auction at 1 p.m. So 9:45, 10 a.m., and 1 p.m. Eastern. So in 8 minutes, in 23 minutes, and then just after lunch, we're expecting the market to have a bit of a reaction to what in the world is going on. Once again, PMI services and manufacturing, then existing home sales, and then the 10-year TIPS bond auction is just after lunch. So check all that stuff out. Be mindful of all of that. And that's just another reason why I just don't think that there's much of a statistical advantage to be trading before, I guess, the 10 a.m. existing home sales report. So if you're already ripping trades today, hey, all the power to you. All the power to you. I hope you were on the right side of whichever way the market breaks. But since I'm particularly licking my wounds from yesterday after losing 24,000, I'm trying to be a little bit more mindful, a little bit more respectful of my personal risk. So I'm not looking to do like any grand slams right now before major news events, you know? So for me, as always, just trying to be calm, cool, collected. I don't think I have shown you this yet, but just to show you I haven't gone completely degenerate. I haven't traded anything yet today. All the accounts are just above 53,000, all 20 of my Apex accounts and all 5 of my take profit accounts. They are all up about $3,000 after the last 3 trading days. So So far, so good. Today is day 4 of trading on all 25 of these accounts. And hopefully I am presented with an optimal, low risk, high reward opportunity where I could just make about another $1,000 and move on and just move on to maybe my options trading. Very quickly, the Mag 7 is bouncing back after a bit of a sell-off while the S&P 500 is showing a bit of weakness. But I literally cannot stress this enough that we're getting a data drop at 9:45. I don't see the advantage to trading this early. Have you guys gotten enough? Did you guys jack up that like button? Where are we at? Nope. You guys are just halfway, so I guess no cat tarot card. Folks, it is the new rule of the community. If you want the cat tarot card, just come in, smash that like button, because as soon as we get to 500, that's when we will get a perfect prediction of what's going on in the market. Obviously, do not hit the like button if you don't want the tarot card. If you would rather trade blind and not know where the market's going today, I understand. Completely understand. So if you want to play it on easy mode, when you sign in, you see the show. As soon as I see 500, that's going to be the new rule. The new rule is as soon as I see 500, I give you guys a perfect prediction for the market. How many for the wheel? 1,000. You get the tarot card at 500 and you get the wheel of destiny at 1,000. That's a very good question, DB. I never thought of it, and I honestly just made that roll up right now. Just ripped it. Just absolutely ripped it. So you guys know what to do if you want to see it. The 5 minute potentially back to testing, the 10 minutes still bearish, the 30 minutes bearish, the 4 hours bearish. This breakdown is what I find to be particularly concerning. The 4 hour breakdown on the S&P 500 futures contract, man, that is not looking the best. There's also this downside gap fill all the way to 5694. Looks like what is this, early May 9th. So watching that on the 4 hour chart. Switching over to the Nasdaq, the 5 minutes actually trying to battle to go bullish, shows the 10 minute, the 30 minute is still bearish, and the 4 hour is trying to save itself. The 4 hour kind of wicked below, maybe faking some people out. Maybe this is a stop loss hunt. Maybe we pump. I truly deep in my core could see this breaking either way. If we fast forwarded time in a day, a week or something like that, and you told me this was amazing dip buy, I would say, yeah, kind of makes sense. If you told me this was the start of the turn and we're about to sell off and go all the way down to this downside gap fill, I would say, hey, that also makes sense. Right now, the narrative that is being spun, I don't think it is dominantly bullish or bearish. Like I could be convinced of either right now, and because I just don't have strong feelings on either side, I just, in terms of my swing plays, I like crypto. I mean, Bitcoin is looking obviously amazing, but outside of the world of crypto, when it comes to equities and swing trades, I'm just not buying either narrative right now, and I just want to be convinced either way. Now, obviously, on an intraday trading, like just day trading, well, I want to know momentum. Is the 10 minute and the 30 minute, are they both bullish or bearish? I see Nasdaq is testing a little bit, but if this starts to fail, the 30 minutes already bearish. We went up into this zone and looks like maybe there was some profit taking. If we start to see a breakdown on the 10 minute, obviously that's a pretty easy setup for a scalp trade to the downside. However, the 5 minute is fighting here. The Nasdaq is trying to keep things aligned. So the 5 and the 10, look at, they might be going green. So I'm just going to be patient. I'm going to wait. There's really no need to rush any of this or anything like that. Let's just calm, cool, collected, folks. Calm, cool, collected. All right. Now, before, where are we at? We're 4 minutes out from, oh, dude, maybe we should get ready. Our boy Rick Santilli might be on today. Dow slips as traders eye jumping bond yields. Yeah, the bond prices are plummeting, so bond yields are going up, and it's just representing a lack of faith in our current debt situation, representing a very large lack of faith in our debt situation. But hey, I guess we've been here before. We should act like professionals. We should attempt to act like professionals. I don't know if we're actually professionals. You like the big, beautiful inflation because more spending will get us more inflation. Yeah, I don't know why. I see it more on Rumble that it seems like a lot of the viewers on Rumble are of the mindset that, no, inflation is taken care of. What are you talking about? But it's weird because that's basically just reiterating and regurgitating what they're hearing from the administration, while almost all actual inflation indicators are saying that this summer it's going up. So there seems to be an interesting disparity between, I guess, people and their political bias. Folks, your political bias has no room in the markets. Hey, if you want to have a political bias when you're at the bar or debating people or voting, have at it. But when it comes to you and your active money bets on the market, leave your political bias at the door. Leave it at the door. Inflation is at 2%, which was the Fed target. It is not at 2%. I don't know where you got that information, but it is not. It is higher than 2%. And on top of that, the forward-looking predictions are that it's going higher once again because of various market influences that are not being in any way helped by the big, beautiful bill, which they're trying to pass. Anyone with the most rudimentary understanding of how inflation works would understand that the big, beautiful bill will be an upward influence on inflation. Is that a good or a bad thing? Well, that's up to you in terms of the bill itself. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of other things in the bill. So just because one thing is maybe not necessarily good, that doesn't mean it's net good or net bad. I'm not trying to say that at all. But there will be a net effect of pushing upward on inflation with the big, beautiful bill. So once again, that's up to you in your personal opinion of is a higher inflation worth it with the other things that are going to get passed? Hey, I'm not here to tell you what your political bias should or shouldn't be. I'm here to tell you that as you're actively trading, don't let your political bias be the thing telling you to buy or sell. That is a really stupid way to interact with the market. About 2.3% rounded down according to AI. You realize that 0.3% is a very, very important thing, and you're citing just one simplistic form of inflation. There's various readings of inflation, but why are you rounding down? Right there, you're trying to say that you're not trading with a bias, and yet you're rounding down a data point in favor of your own bias. Dude, come on. How do you not see the comedy in that? Of no, I just rounded down. I just look at the first number. Bro, come on. All right, is our boy Rick ripping it? Kramer's ripping it.
163. But I do think that there'll be peace made.
You do. But the market reaction yesterday was that perhaps the likelihood of some very significant action in terms of divestiture is less.
No chemical spin-off, no midstream spin-off, just business as usual. Valero is considered to be a better operator. Valero's been a better stock.
Not a big movement quite yet. We're still in the chop zone.
I was shocked that they had to go to a vote on that.
Guys, interesting to note.
Give us Rick. Give us Rick or give us death.
The Mag 7. The
PMI 52.1, expected 50.3. Manufacturing PMI 52.3, expected 49.9. So both of them coming in higher than expected. 52.3, expected 51. Yeah. So the composite and then individually manufacturing and services all coming in higher than expected on that PMI reading that just came out at 945.
First time starting to see search queries decline on the phone.
Right. But look, as you always say, the stock was cheap, and it was up very much, and then it went down during the selling at the end of the day. I think that selling near the end of the day actually was really pretty overwhelming, and it really made people feel like this bill must be a travesty. And what I've said is not a travesty, But let me give you an example. Williams-Sonoma reports a very good quarter this morning. Laura Albert. She says
I guess the market's not buying it, folks.
I liked everything. I think that there's doing so many things
MSTR
right.
ripping around like no other. 426 down to 412, unfortunately. Bitcoin's at 111,000, down about $500.
Function of the fact that people feel that was the last good quarter.
All these nice green ones are giving it back, folks.
Look, Ralph Lauren was down 10 when I talked about it. Now it's up 5, thank heavens.
Well, we got a div hike, and they did add $1.5 billion to the buyback.
Dude, give us Rick.
These are really
give us what we want.
And Ralph Lauren came right back after the short
of a split bigger in nature.
They're just keeping Rick from us. Inappropriate, if you ask me. All right, we don't need to listen to this guy drone on. I'm upset, though. I'm upset. All right. we are effectively range bound. We are stuck in between yesterday's close and yesterday's low, while the Qs are just sitting right on top of their closing value from yesterday. With respect to trend, you do see the Mag 7 catching a nice uptrend in their delta. So the options market is buying calls and puts are pretty much flat. Once again, that's on the Mag 7. While looking at the SPY, it was bullish, bearish, flat, and then we just started to pop at 941. We made a new delta high at 946, but now it's kind of giving it back. So the initial options reaction to that report was bullish, but seemingly not holding. So we are just stuck in this pattern. The 5-minute right at the MA, the 10-minute barely bearish, the 30-minute bearish, and the 4-hour bearish. The 5-minute on NQ trying to hold bullish, the 10-minute testing, the 30-minute is like, we are just being given every conflicting signal possible. Every conflicting signal possible, folks. If you're trading right now, I mean, all the power to you, but I don't see what you're possibly looking at that is giving you the confidence to rip it. I mean, look at price. We're just going sideways. I suppose if you're saying, hey, man, I get it, we're going sideways, and I bet we either break out or break down. If your risk to reward is more than 2 to 1, I guess have at it, and you'll be net ahead. But I mean, we're just not going anywhere. The options market is telling us nada. The momentum is telling us nada. The price structure is literally nothing. Like, what are you possibly trading off of right now? Zero confidence with anything. Yeah, I agree. There's just nothing's going on right now. So you just have to wait. And as painful as it is to say, remember, some days there just isn't a good trade. And I know that's hard to hear, especially as a market degenerate, that you're like, nah, I want to be doing stuff. If I'm here watching the charts, I better be ripping it. But remember, some days that opportunity is just not there. The moon cycles are giving the more correct edge. That's honestly the point that I'm at. You'll likely see more of a market reaction to the 10 a.m. housing starts number. I don't know where you're getting that information, but maybe you're either 50-50. Either you're right or you're not right. Someone just said Rick's on. Are they giving us Rick? Oh, there was Rick.
I want to
make you better.
Give us Rick.
I keep pushing you every day to just be your best self.
Give us Rick.
You did a great job today, Jim.
Meantime, let's get some PMIs with Rick Santelli. Hey, Rick.
I like how they said it was breaking and it was obviously like minutes late.
Some volatility on these numbers. We're looking at S&P Global PMIs, manufacturing, service, and composite. These are our May reads, but they're preliminary. In a couple of weeks, we'll get the final. All of them are stronger than expected. On manufacturing, 52.3, higher sequentially than 50.2, best level since February, second best of the year. And if we look at the notion that this is now the 5th consecutive read over 50. On the services side, the 28th consecutive read over 50, 52.3, sequentially higher than 50.8 in the rearview mirror. 52.3 would be the highest since March when it was 54 and change. The composite, 52.1, sequentially higher than 50.6. It's also the 28th consecutive reading over 50. 52.1 comps also to March. So we're starting to see some life in manufacturing, services, and composite remain above 50. Interest rates
NASDAQ is picking up right now.
A bit. And do remember that 457 is where the 10-year settled 2024. Currently, it's at 460, which is basically unchanged on the session. Squawk on the Street will return.
There you have it from the man himself,
break.
Mr. Santilli. All right. And on this, we're actually seeing a nice follow through in the Mag 7 options flow. We based here at 934, and we are like, it is just not relenting, even to the point that the S&P 500, which has been choppy, even that is now back in another upswing. So can we actually push? So the Q's just made a new intraday high, and then we also have the SPY about to make a new intraday high. So where are we at? We are getting to the top of the transition zone. So if the bulls can get above and hold above 58.50, we might be looking at some opportunity, folks. We might be looking at some opportunity. SPX officially going green on the day above yesterday's close at 5844.62. Big test here at 58.50. And let's see. Hopefully I would not be chasing this right now because you're buying at resistance. Buying at resistance, shorting at support. It's a dumb way to interact with the market. It might work out. And if you choose to do it, I hope it does work out for you. But you have to realize that you're by definition taking on the most risk. If you wanted to play for this, you should have gotten in on the breakout bar at 950, risking the recent low. You don't want to get in now because your risk, like by definition, you are the farthest away from risk that you could possibly be, and you theoretically are putting yourself in that potential situation of top ticking, because if we get rejected here and you go long, congrats, you bought at the high of the day and you're the person who top ticked it. So if you don't have a position on an intraday basis, this is not the time to test or try it. What you would want to do is see if it pushes and then comes back and makes a higher low and a base that you can then play off of. And you'd want to get in between arrows 3 and 4, where you're buying now at support with minimal risk. So that might be the same dollar value, but you're playing it off a different price structure, and it's just a different way or a more optimal way to do your risk to reward management. So buying right now, like I said, your risk is here. If anything, you want it to go up, come down, base, because then you have a closer risk point, which is really what you should be looking for. But anyway, the SPY made a fresh high intraday. I'm waiting for the 30-minute Orbo to really play out here. We might be getting some fake out breakdowns. The SPY flushed its low from yesterday, popped off of it. The Q's flushed its closing value, popped off of it. So is this real dip buying or is it a brutal fake out? Obviously, hindsight bias is 20/20. So let's just wait. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing the follow through in these tech names that I would like to see. Oh, Palantir's catching a nice bid. Microsoft's holding. Tesla bouncing back a little bit. Nvidia bouncing back a little bit. Broadcom bouncing back a little bit. Meta's bouncing back as well. All right. Tesla's up 1%. Palantir, Microsoft, and Tesla, nice percentage gains and also intraday looking strong. The biggest percentage gain is MicroStrategy, but intraday not looking the best. Same thing with coin. So they have nice percentage gains, but just we're not seeing higher highs and higher lows. While Palantir, nice recovery. Microsoft is holding beautifully, and even Tesla's looking good. So we'll leave Palantir and Tesla up for now, just because I know the audience has a good amount of interest in that. Bought 3 out of the money calls on double bottom of the day. I hope it works for you. You're too early. I don't know why you would be trading now before a 10 a.m. data drop, but I hope the data drop works for you. But I think as a day trader, as a swing trader, I think you shouldn't be front running news, because you have a 50-50 shot of if the news breaks your way or doesn't. So for me, I attempt to not take the unknown risk of news, because I don't know what the news is going to be. I don't know what it's going to be whatsoever. And look at that. We might be getting rejected here. But maybe we just find support at the close. Maybe it's kind of a fake out breakout, supports here, and we bounce off of that. Could be possible. I'm getting a daily chart breakout right now on Microsoft, wherever the fuck that one is, right here. Pushing higher. Microsoft showing relative strength, even in the face of all this craziness in the market. Microsoft showing us what's up. All right, let's see if Microsoft has any legs to it. Equity Hub, MSFT. Okay, 455 could be tough. Oh, we're on top of 455 though. 460, and then from there, you're talking 470. So I'd be watching 460 flat, which Microsoft is pretty much at it. But if it can get above and hold above that, then you're talking 470, folks. Microsoft might be getting that follow through to 470. A little daily chart, little pop, pullback, potential follow through, potential continuation. Microsoft looking good. We are coming up to the low from 2 days ago. The Qs are getting the follow through right here. Mag 7 still pumping. S&P 500 also pumping. We are back on top. That little fake out here. You could just risk this line. From a technical standpoint, I actually like that breakout bar risking this recent low. I just don't like the time of it, 9:57, when we know have a data drop at 10. So if this were like 10:10, if we saw this setup at 10:10 instead of 9:57, I probably would have taken along with that, risking this recent low. But alas, we do have a report at 10, so I am not going to be trading it right now because I don't know which way this news is going to go. I do not know which way the news is going to go, but and I'm kind of waiting for. We did break in the bullish direction on the 15-minute Orbo. That's the first two blue lines on the SPY and the Qs. I'm waiting for us to hit 10 a.m. so we can see what the 30-minute Orbo setup is going to be. So just wait in there. There's no 10 a.m. data drop. It's already dropped. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, why do people say this stuff when they're so just comically fucking wrong? Greg, are you a dumbass? There's no 10 a.m. data drop. Okay, then why is there? Like, what is it like going through life just being so fucking measurably wrong? Like, instead of saying something stupid, why don't you do 30 seconds of research before you say something stupid? What, Greg? What a fucking Greg. Oh, it is people like this in chat that drive me up a wall. People who say things so confidently and they haven't done 30 seconds of research. Actually, like, literally, it didn't take a fucking PhD in, like, economics to do this. It took a 30-second internet search to be like, yeah, no, there actually is. Like, it blows my mind how many people are so woefully uninformed and then yet they're betting money. Like, it fucking Greg's, man. Like, there is no perfect name for a person who just says and does and fucks things up like that. It's just fucking Greg. Fucking Greg. It's so classic. So fucking classic. Oh my God, Greg, why do we think things just started moving? Is it maybe because there was a data drop? Is it because information just came out and people, the bots and other traders are reacting to said information exactly at 10 a.m.? Is that why we saw a bit of a spike and then a quick give back? Is that why options started to go a little bit nutty exactly at 10 a.m.? It's probably not because of a data drop. Probably not because of a data drop. I stand corrected. Greg is right. The fact that news related to the housing market and the market happened at 10, I just got lucky. I just got lucky. Hang on. The fact that we are being told about home sales at 10 a.m., I just got lucky. The fact home sales actually came in less than expected. The forecast was 4.15 million. It came in at 4. That's not a data drop. We don't count housing numbers as a data drop. Fucking people, man. I'm always thoroughly perplexed. These are people betting thousands of dollars in the market and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Insane. Absolutely fucking insane. Oh. Truly insane. Microsoft. I keep coming back to Microsoft because it is looking so good. Meta. ASML. Dude, Microsoft is pushing. Old Microsoft. Old MSFT. MicroStrategy actually smacked. So it's the micros today that are doing something. Microsoft is pumping. MicroStrategy was pumping, now giving it back. Maybe that's why it dropped micro out of the name. Tesla's decent recovery swept these lows, but it is attempting to show everyone who's who and what's what. It's a NVIDIA going up a little bit. Broadcom not really breaking down. taking a bit of a breather. Like I said, I'm looking for this retest of 50 and then a base and then a pop off of it. That to me would be a pretty easy trade. The Mag 7 is long and strong. The S&P 500 as of now is long and strong. So I'm waiting to see how this all plays out. Let me see. As of now, that is not the most telling thing at all, in fact. And then I'm just using some of these other services to see where potential ceilings and floors are. I mean, if we could hold 50, that's a nice base, and that sets up a potential test of 5,900. It's kind of a simplistic play today. If we hold 5,800 or 5,850, can we push 5,875, which is a less important level? And then if we do, the real test is back at 5,900. It's pretty much how it goes. This pump feels so fake. Well, that's another stupid fucking piece of commentary. How does a pump feel fake? Daniel, please explain to the class what you see going on that tells you that it feels fake. Like this, like, help me. I have not, pretend I've never traded before. What tells you that this is a fake bar, but what? Maybe this is a real bar? Like, what are you possibly seeing that you're like, all right, fake versus real? Like, where do people come? Like, who is teaching you guys this shit? What dipshit guru, furu, influencer, YouTuber video are you watching that is telling you a pump can feel fake? What the fuck? Like, where do people get this shit? This is why people lose money, is because they are placing bets on things that make no fucking sense whatsoever. They're like, yeah, no, dude, feels fake. Feels fake. It's a fake pump versus a real pump. Like, people are always seemingly surprised. They're like, 95% of traders lose money. And then they're like, wow, that's a lot. Trading must be really hard. Have you talked to traders? I would actually argue that 95% failing, that seems low based on the dumb shit that I see going on in the retail trading community. Feels fake. Trades is back, LOL. Yeah, talk about dumbass fucking traders. These people, like, what are you basing it off of? Feels fake. That was a fake bar. This is also an undecided fake bar. But then maybe the next one's real. I don't lose money. I know what feels fake. Daniel, I would literally bet my entire net worth that you are a net losing trader. My entire net worth, I would bet that you are not a profitable trader. Seriously. Like, feels fake. I know what feels fake, and that's a fake feeling pump. It's a fake pump. My stomach is attuned to real pumps and fake pumps, and I can feel it in my gut that that's a fake pump. Dude, Jesus. That's the indicator. We're just betting off of Daniel's gut feeling. This is like the sad fact of the retail trading community is people like that like think they're real traders. Like they think know what's going on. They sit there. Like, I know what's up. I know what's going on. Man, you hurt my feelings. I don't know. Grow the fuck up. Don't be such. First of all, don't be a liar. Don't try to tell this entire room here that you're a profitable trader. Like, number one is everyone in here, including myself, can see you are completely full of shit. Yeah, I trade off fake pumps and real pumps. Yeah, no. Daniel, looks like it's a fake pump. Your call out seems to be spot fucking on right now, brother. It's spot on if you actually just don't look at what's going on. That is if we redefined right by actually meaning wrong, you would be 100% right. But first, we would have to redefine the definition of being right and wrong. So, like, as long as we literally invert the definition of the two, you would then be right. But barring that update, yeah, no. Look at all this fake pumps. And you're trying to get everyone in here to believe that you're a profitable trader? That's what is going on? Like right here, where you're saying it's a fake pump and the market is still going to the upside? Like, you're trying to get us to all believe that you make money somehow trading. Generally, to make money trading, you have to have accurate calls on the market. And maybe I'm blind. Do I just need to like invert this here? I think there's a way. How do you invert it? There's a way. There's a hotkey. Does anyone know it off the top of their head? Nope, that's not it. You just have to turn it upside down. Oh, there we go. Okay. Daniel, got you, brother. There you go. Dude, don't say I didn't do anything for you, Daniel. I just stopped you embarrassing yourself in front of everyone. 100% right. It was a fake pump. All you have to do is turn the charts upside down. All you have to do is turn it upside down. At least I feel like I'm profitable. That's what counts. You know, that's probably the one thing that I could get behind that you've said is it doesn't really matter if you're profitable or not. It matters about if you feel like you're profitable. That's what I do is whenever I pay my rent or pay my bills or pay my employees or anything, I just pay them with my feeling dollars. And I would argue that they're actually way, way more worthwhile than real dollars. So I'm happy that we could, through this discourse, through this discussion, see eye to eye on something. It doesn't matter if you're profitable or not. I know that we all have those stats of 95% of traders are not profitable. But a far more important stat is, do they feel like they're profitable? Do they feel it? Because that's where it's really at. That's where it's really, really at. You just got to look at it. Sometimes you just got to look at it like a little upside down. Oh, we're right in this battle zone right here. We saw all in post and pre-market trading. ES is at these highs, which also now is aligning with that 30-minute breakout. So we're coming up to this. This is a kind of important test. What I would like to see for me to trade, I want to see a pullback. I want to see a pullback to 50, maybe even a 45, a base, and then a pop. And it's on the start of that pop that I would be personally looking for a long entry. I don't want to chase it here because you never know when these fake pumps are going to turn into real sell-offs. That's what I'm looking for. I want to pull back to 50. I want to pull back to 45, somewhere in this zone, a nice base. And then on the upswing is where your boy is looking to attack. That's what I'm looking to do this day. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour on the NASDAQ is now all bullish. 5-minute, 10-minute, the 30-minute and the 4-hour are still a little bit suspect on the S&P 500. I want a little bit more confidence. Really, on ES, I wanted above 5,880. That seems to be in line roughly with the 30-minute and the 4-hour EMAs right here. So watching that, and then maybe I'll be a bit more convinced. There we go. All right, putting these charts right side up. Let me do one quick measurement here. Okay, that's not so bad. I just want to see what the 50% pullback is looking like, because that might be a strategy I'm interested in using today. Man, that really started to get going. All right, so the 50% pullback is all the way down at 21,246. So actually 40 points below where we are. And then we also have this low at 227. So I really wouldn't mind, especially if the options market is still holding, I wouldn't mind going long somewhere in that zone, between 47 and 28. Maybe even a fake out breakdown below that low, and then we recapture it. So I'm watching this zone for maybe a potential dip buy. That's kind of where I'm at. Hey Matt, are you waiting for move down retest before you enter? Well, yeah, I mean, buying at the highs is just a stupid thing to do because, like I always say, you're by definition taking on the most risk possible. If you're buying at the extremes of a day, if you're buying at the high of a day, you are by definition the farthest away from your cut point, your support point than you can be. So when I see strength, I want to see a pullback with a higher low, and I want to get in on the higher low. I don't want to get in on a pushing to a new high. You're literally just taking on more risk. You're just taking on more risk. So this is kind of playing out the way I saw it of, okay, do we pull back to this zone? I didn't want to chase it because there are such things as a fake out breakout. I want this to hold, and the Mag 7 is trending down a little bit right now. The SPY is getting hit. Actually, that's pretty aggressive, folks. Right here, starting at 10:07. Calls are getting dumped. Calls are being sold, and puts are being bought. Now, is it to open or close? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. The question is can we base here? Are we going to base off of 50? Are we going to base off of 50? Are buyers going to step in? That is the gazillion dollar question. Gazillion dollar question. Is this a higher low, or are we actually going to return all the way to the chop zone? We didn't necessarily get down to where I would have preferred it. Maybe they want to touch 45. We're right at a key open interest level and somewhat of a psychological level. And then we also have the previous day's close, which could act as support. It could also be a sweep of this 956 low, just someone to knock out the people who are using that as their risk point. Mag 7 still slowly drifting down, but overall the trend is higher. And the SPY tried to get a bounce, but it's kind of getting knocked. So it's going to come down to this 6-point zone in here. Is this support? Yes or no? If it is support, great. We bounce. We go back up to 64, potentially 75. Let's see. I have not made any trades yet today. I've been attempting to be patient and wait. But we are seeing that potential bounce. Just waiting. Are buyers stepping in right here? We're watching most likely what's going to be the battle of the day right now, kind of trying to decide who the hell's in control of this thing. Can we hold this 6-point support zone? Yesterday's close, and also key open interest. Right now, the Mag 7 not selling off anymore, maybe going sideways. The SPY's maybe trying to get going right now. Support might be coming in. We're seeing the call selling has stopped and the put buying has stopped. But that it could pause and then continue. So we got to be careful here. I don't necessarily want to front run anything. I'm not completely convinced. 40, 30. So the start of this run, basically looking at 949 all the way up to 1007. We've pulled back 62%. Well, no, I drew it the opposite way. I think I'm supposed to draw it this way to know how much we've pulled back. We have not pulled back 50% yet. We've pulled back like 45%. The 50% pullback line for all my fib traders is at 21,244, the 62%, 21,224, and then the 79% is just below 21,200. So not that deep of a pullback yet. Like I said, we didn't even do a 50% pullback of this range from 950 up, but things have seemingly calmed down here. We'll see. I mean, but you can see how it was like very clear selling, and then all of a sudden wick. Just the order flow obviously didn't become so lopsided favoring the Bears. It just, and we could even see it in options as well. Look at pump, sell off, now flat, starting at 10.13, flat. Look at the SPY, pump, changed at 10.07, selling till 10.13, and since 10.13 flat and indecisive. So we're still watching the battle of the day. No one on this planet can tell you who's going to win this battle. I don't know if the Bulls are going to win it and we bounce off of it. I don't know if the Bears are going to win it and we get pushed back into the choppy transition zone. And then even if they do win it, are they just going to get rejected here at 5.844? No clue. Is Greg banned? No, he just stopped talking. Sign up, take profit this morning using code Goonie. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Yeah, right now, the best sim to funded offering is from TPT, Take Profit Trader. That code Goonie will get you 30% off for light, and then you'll pay no activation fee. So as of right now, today, in real time on the stream, the best financial deal for you guys to do the sim to funded prop trading, it is Take Profit Trader. So use that code Goonie to get advantage of the best deal. But I need to stress this is, and I even do this myself, is sometimes I forget to put in the code and then you're not going to be getting that deal. So make sure you actually put it in. Oh, I just cut my arm somehow. Make sure you apply it. There's a coupon section. Make sure you're actually typing that in. What brings you to this swamp, traveler? Old Greg. Are we actually putting in this? Are we putting in the higher low right now? The 5-minute, the 10-minute are bullish. The 30-minute and the 4-hour are bearish. The 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, and the 4-hour are all bullish on the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq on a relative basis is seemingly outperforming. Old Greg. What the fuck happened to MicroStrategy? Old Greg. All right, let's drop it to the 3-minute. Let's clean these charts up a little bit. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. The 50. It's not going to, look at, we sell perfectly to it. So we broke, could not hold. The bulls had a little bit too much exuberance, not enough follow through, hit right back down. And look at that. We were just at this. Did Matt consult the tarot cards? Oh, you guys did get enough lights. All right. I will. I am a man of my word. I'm a guru influencer of my word. I'm shuffling it up to get all the good magic in there. And then I will be using these cards to perfectly tell you guys where the market is going today. I will be using these to perfectly inform you of where we are going. 3, 2, 1, stop. Put that on the bottom. Abracadabra, alakazam. Oh, market lords, tell us where you will be sending price action today. Your humble servants, the Goonie community. Well, that is just one happy cat family. I pulled the 10 of cups. That is actually a nuclear cat family. Happy cat dad, happy cat mom, happy cat kitten. That's a family one. That might just literally mean that we have to be a better family. You know, there's a lot of fighting going on right now. All right, let's see what the 10 of cups is all about. Let's see what this 10 of cups is. Oh, we did get into that 50%, somewhere here between the 50 and the 62. So the game of stats is upon us. The 10 of cups, harmony, love and family, stability. This card makes the happy ever after ending and a time when all is well and love, peace, and harmony reign. Everyone is working together and nobody is missing out. Lasting stability and heartfelt commitment have been achieved. Marriage, additions to the family, or the start of an important relationship are indicated. Well, now I feel like an asshole. I guess in light of the card that I just pulled, I should probably apologize to both Greg and Daniel. I probably should. Through the fact that it says the only way we win today is a family, I shouldn't make certain family members feel as if they're stupid and uninformed, even though what they have said and how they have acted is stupid and uninformed. We all have different information. So through the lens of the tarot card I just pulled, I'm sorry. I should not have. I shouldn't have picked on Daniel. I shouldn't have picked on Greg. That is not what a good family member would do. A good family member would build each other up. We would be on the same side. We're in the same battle together. So I pulled the family card. So I need to put in some effort to making the family feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit better today. So to Greg, to Daniel, to the people that I eviscerated, my apologies. My apologies. The tarot card set is telling us the only way we can make money today is if we work together. And obviously, people are less willing to work together if they are fighting. So for the sake of our family, the Goonie family, maybe we should be working together. So my apologies. Thumbs down on the tarot devil cards. So that's what the devil would do. The devil. The devil cards. I don't like that magic stuff. All that magic. Sold your soul for those devil cards. Man, dude, some of these people on Rumble crack me up. Those devil cards. Those kitty cat devil cards. I don't like that, man. That's the devil stuff. That's them devils there. Them devils. Yeah, sure, dude. Sure it is. The cards are fake. Well, if they're fake, why are they 100% accurate? Riddle me that. All right. So we've pulled back. I just had it. Where was the chart? We pulled back far enough. Actually, we're now exceeding it. We're almost eyeing up this 79%. We've pulled back beyond this range where I would consider, if we see some strength, but remember, that's a big if. First, we need it to go sideways, then we need it to gear back up. But we've pulled back enough where I consider this okay, you're getting in cheap. Remember, the whole goal is to not chase it to the upside. I think even this, if you do 50% pullback, 62% pullbacks, 79% pullbacks, we've pulled back enough where I'm like, okay, we're buying on discount. We're not really chasing this anymore. So, but I don't want to blindly do it. Obviously, I want my other metrics. I want to see the Mag 7 Delta pick back up. I want to see the SPY pick back up. I want to see if it can actually recapture this closing value. The fact that there was quite the fight at 50. The Bulls lost that fight. They were fighting from 10-13 to 10-20, and then at 10-21, the Bulls could no longer defend. And I'm actually surprised we didn't see more of a defense at not only the closing value from yesterday, but look, it's where we got rejected. It's where we got rejected. Then we had this breakout. I'm surprised that there wasn't more sitting buy orders right at 5844, 5845. I'm surprised that liquidity dried up so quickly to get that 4 or 5 point push very rapidly to the downside. The Nasdaq is trying to hold here. 5 minute and 10 minute are coming down for a potential bearish test. So is the 30 minute. The 5 minute and the 10 minute broke down on the S&P 500. If the bulls do not step in soon, the bears are quickly going to regain control, and we might then be seeing the 8 a.m. low. So be mindful of that. The thing I really don't like here is this 4 hour. Look at it, puked, rejected. We're just not seeing those buyers step in. So basically, it is time. We witnessed the first battle of the day here, the breakout battle. The Bulls won that. They could not defend it a second time. And then we're seeing this. So if we have a shot of going green, these guys better start hitting that buy button, because if they don't, before you know it, this could get out of hand, and we could be going to the bottom side of the transition zone at 58.20. The bottom side of the transition zone. Maybe a little fake out? Are we trying to pump this here? What's the Mag 7? The Mag 7 is flat. The SPY is actually seemingly trying to pick up a recapture. We went from red to green, back to red. It seems like we're almost oscillating around this, the closing value of should the market be green or red today. We are getting range. Is it going to actually hold this? 5-minute testing, 10-minute testing. I almost went long. I did. If I'm being honest with you folks, I almost bought long on the NASDAQ. But I think I'm getting tricked because the NASDAQ is looking better. Look at that. Fake out breakdown, pushes back up. But why I think I might be getting tricked is because if you look at the S&P 500, it's actually struggling. So I think I'm being the siren song of the NASDAQ is I'm finding attractive. But if anything, we're seeing not so good in the S&P 500. What we're seeing is not so good. So I need to see how this shakes out. Do we recapture 46 or do we break down below 39? Right here, this 5-minute, this 10-minute, the 30 minutes bearish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute. So like I said, this is the siren song of the NASDAQ is it actually looks decent. We got the pump, the pullback, we're at support. It could bounce. But I'm just worried about the relative weakness in the S&P 500. Oh, I'm a little bit worried. Who's going to win this battle? See, the Mag 7 stopped trending. We popped till 10:08, and since then, the Mag 7's been flat. The NASDAQ is picking up here, though. Starting at 1025, the delta's ripping on the NASDAQ. And then going back to the SPY, we got hit pretty hard up until 1025. We're seeing a bit of a reprieve in the delta, but price is not showing anything. Is this it? Are we going fishing here? Are we buying on this low? Is this the moment? Tesla's going. Folks, I'm getting tempted. Folks, your boy's getting tempted. Not gonna lie. The temptations are real. They are very real. Oh, is this smart or not? Am I making a good decision? Am I making a good decision? I was patient to wait for this to all play out. Where is SPX at? SPX is at 42, just below yesterday's close. Just below it. As you can see, I've not made any trades today. So I've been patient to this point, and I'm just wondering, are we being currently presented a good dip buy opportunity? A good dip buy opportunity. Tesla's going, Palantir's going. We sold. Is this the pump? Is this the recovery tour? We didn't. Mag 7 starting to trend up while the SPY is kind of flat. So the Mag, like I said, It's a siren song, brother. Dude, it's starting to look good. Starting to look good over here. Tesla's going. Oh, this one's... I'm in the blender, folks. I don't know if I want to do it. Right here. Is this actually going to go? We're still above VWAP. Maybe the patient's paid. The SPY is not getting that follow through. Options are flat here. They didn't keep buying. Was patience a good move? It's nothing, dude. We've just been grinding it out. There's a battle. Nasdaq's trying to keep it higher. SPY. Actually, price just popped, but now options flow. It took a hit. I don't know if I'm being tricked. Is a trap being laid? That's the question. Is a trap being laid? The Nasdaq's trying to get going. I keep seeing it like up, trying to pick up, trying to pick up, trying to pick up, but I'm just not seeing that support. I'm not seeing the equivalent follow through on the SPY, which is freaking me out. If I just saw the Nasdaq, I'd say, yeah, sick. Let's take advantage of it. But also using the data input from the SPY, it's just not telling you the same story. There's a mismatch. If I were just measuring it off the Nasdaq, I'd be already ripping this thing because it looks like the bottom's being put in. We saw enough of a pullback. You're buying on discount. You're buying the recapture of the EMA. Your risk is this recent low. You could even use a higher risk like recent low, and you're looking for that follow through. So just using that, I'd be stoked. My issue, what I keep coming back to, it's really not the siren song of the Nasdaq. It's, well, in a weird way it is, because the siren song, that looks good, but we're just not being told the same story here on the S&P 500. Even look at this flow. Look at, we're still just kind of bleeding. I haven't seen much stabilization, but the Mag 7's picking up. Can the Mag 7 pick up enough to get the SPY to go? Right here, you see how we just have this perfect range? We're just range bound. Can the Mag 7, can the tech sector be so strong to get the SPY to come back above 45? Because really, we took this hit and look at, we're doing nothing, folks. We're just doing nothing right now. Tesla's going. Palantir's going. MicroStrategy might be picking back up. Coin might be picking back up. Nvidia's looking decent. Broadcom's looking decent. Oh, brother. What is happening here? Yeah, the 5 minute. The bulls are not strong enough to get it back up here. Even the 10 minute. The 5 minute and the 10 minute are still technically on the bearish side of their EMA. And the 30 minute and the 4 hour definitely are. Folks, we are being told a weird story today. We are being told a weird story today. And it does not make sense. The story they are pitching. It ain't adding up. 1 + 1 is not equaling 2 right now. And my spidey senses are tingling. My spidey senses are tingling. Look at that failure. Top of VWAP at 95. Uh-oh. We just broke that range to the downside. We're going to be saying hello to 30 soon, followed by 20. The SPY is definitely weaker on a relative basis, without a doubt. The tech sector is trying to keep it up. The Mag 7 flow starting at 1036 took a little bit of a dip. The S&P 500, that options flow is going down. Let me check some of these other tools. 5800, 5830, 5840, 5850. Dude, the longer we stay below 5850 in the SPX, not so good. Not so good. Oh, okay. If I were to take this short right now, it would be about a 50-point risk, which is kind of the max I want to risk. The max I would like to risk. Oh, we seemingly are getting smacked there. All right, SPY is taking a hit. Mag 7 is bending down, but the SPY is the concerning player here. 5 minute, 10 minute. Oh, this 30 minutes breaking down on the NASDAQ as well. If we take out 200, that is not a good story, folks. If we take out 31, that is not a good story. We're right on top of VWAP. Right on top of VWAP. Let me zoom out a little bit. Honestly, this would have printed in, I didn't do it, but if you took this breakdown here at 1037, my hat's off to you. That was a pretty nice trade. And I don't know how it's going to play out, but in terms of decision making, trending down, you were patient, you waited for the bear flag, you're short at 33. You're risking maybe 60, maybe you're risking 65. So you're risking 30 to 35 points, $600 to $700. Obviously, you're already up 10, and maybe on a test of VWAP, you move your stop to break even. I think that's a good decision trade. Obviously, I did not take it. I'm just saying that from a technical perspective, from a flow perspective, I like it. I thought it was actually a good decision. Mag 7 is still flat. S&P 500. Oh, today has been a very indecisive day. Like, are we just sweeping this low here? A fake out? I don't know what to do. What would you guys do? I feel like this has been the longest that I've been in the blender, not knowing how I want to place it, because I'm just getting way too many conflicting signals. Way too many conflicting signals. How would you guys play it? Are these just fake out breakdowns and we're going to pop and it's silly to go short? Or are we actually going to barrel down to the intraday low that we saw at 933? All right, here's a question for you guys. What do you think we're going to see first? Given the current price structure, given the current price momentum, and given the current options flow, which in my book, the way I look at all this stuff is that it is very indecisive. But if you guys had to bet from this exact moment at 10:41 in the morning, would you bet that we first see a new intraday high or new intraday low? What do you think that we're going to see first from this moment? Given here, I'll show you the options flow. Here's a look at the SPY. Here's a look at the Qs. Obviously, you guys are seeing price. You're seeing some of the pullback. Here are the key levels. So given all of this information, these are all your data inputs. What do you think is more statistically likely, a new high or a new low on an intraday basis? Dude, if this fails here, fuck me. Look, see how the Qs came right to the top of their region? Well, the SPY, The SPY is barely getting up to its closing. The SPX is barely getting up to its closing value from yesterday. So we went from higher highs and higher lows to lower highs and lower lows. Mag 7 is flat. NASDAQ was pumping flat, got hit, maybe potentially turning. You guys are pretty split on this. Looking at chat between highs and lows, even you guys. So all of my indicators are half and half right now. All of my indicators have no idea what's going. Well, the Qs are now getting a pump. Now they're getting a pump. But is it another fake one? I don't know if we could really do anything until the SPY decides if it wants to be above or below its closing value. The SPY is slightly above while SPX is slightly below. We're just at a level. I don't know if anyone can confidently tell you which way it's going to break. Every single time I think we're going to get going on the Qs and I get excited and I'm like, yo, I should be slinging it long. I look at the SPY and I'm like, dude, this shit's just getting rejected. It's 50-50, but go long. Well, hey, with a 50-50 chance, if you have good risk reward, it can still work out. You can still make it work out. The SPY is seemingly downturning again. Huh. Look at that. Went up, rejected again. Rejected again. I'm torn on this one, folks. Look at that. We went all the way back up. Trendline breakdown seemed to be a fake out. We went up to that equal high. Smacked again. Smacked again. Maybe we could get a pump up to 50 and then like a lower high failure. Like I'm not seeing any good opportunity right now. I'm just not seeing any good opportunity. Any news gonna hit? From here, the next piece of news is at 1 p.m. Eastern. So just after lunch, we are expected to get the results of the 10-year TIPS auction. So it's another bond auction. Another bond auction. And look at that. Magically, we are right back to the top of this range. Just like that. It's like clockwork, folks. Right back up to this trend. Oh, which way is this one going to break? Which way is this way? Which way is it going to break? I can't believe I've gone this long without doing anything today. I'm actually really surprised. Mag 7 flat. S&P 500 flat after trending down. The 5-minute and the 10-minute on the NASDAQ are holding bullish. The 30-minute is battling it out. We are in this key zone between 21,200 and 240. It's all these like recent highs that we try to get above and got smacked down to. So it could be a failure or it could be actually a pretty decent recovery. On the flip side, though, well, hang on. The SPY is now catching a bid. If the SPY can take, or if the S&P 500 can take out this recent high, that could get interesting. We could take out this shelf. Just, dude, folks, it's Chop City. Chop City. We've been chopping up since 1020. 1020. What in the world will we be doing next? What in the world is going on? Bitcoin holding 111,000. Tesla intraday looking pretty decent. Meta was looking decent. Microsoft decent. Palantir's good as well. Dude, this is actually painful chop. Like truly, truly painful chop. Just waiting for something to happen. SPY started to turn low again. Well, that might be the lower high. Right here. We had basically a double top and we have a triple bottom here. But we did seemingly put in a lower high. Mag 7 is still flat. NASDAQ. Dude, it is so indecisive. It doesn't know which way it wants to go here. This is crazy. We're just so painfully waiting for this. This is, what a test of patience today. What a test of patience we have going on today. One side has to give eventually. It's just which side is it going to be? I feel like every single time we look at the chart, one side looks a bit stronger than the other. Every time I'm coming back, I go from bullish to bearish, bullish to bearish, bullish to bearish. GME has growing accumulations. Looks like it will pop to an all-time high within the next few months. Vincent, shut the fuck up. GameStop pumping to a new all-time high in the next few months. Vincent, you know, I thought Daniel and Greg said some crazy things today, but you just said the dumbest fucking thing. GameStop to a new all-time high in the next couple months. You are fucking stupid. Like, it is scary that you are trading in the equities market or trading in any market. Like, holy shit. We've heard some dumb things on this show, and that actually might take the cake. All-time high in the next few months. You are a special type of dipshit. You really, really, like, dude, let me help you out. Stop trading. This game is not for you. You just don't have the IQ necessary to be even possibly surviving in this game. Holy fuck. What a dumb fucking thing. A new all-time. What a fucking dipshit. What a fucking dipshit. Yeah, I too am surprised that most retail traders lose money. Yeah, AMC also going to a new all-time high. Yeah, guys, if you're not betting on that right now, if you're not betting on AMC and GME going to a new all-time high in the next couple months, what are you guys doing? Like, it's basically guaranteed. I not only remortgage my house, but I remortgage my parents' house and my neighbor's house because it is guaranteed. New all-time, and not even a couple months. That's what, like, the shill dark pool people are saying, dude, it's probably coming in the next couple weeks. Next couple weeks. I mean, I get it. If you're somehow lost in a dark pool, you might be thinking, yeah, a couple months, but that's what shills say. That's what people who don't want to get in this bag are saying, you know? Fucking so silly. Mag 7 is perfectly flat. NASDAQ. Damn, dude. What do I want to do here? What's in the box? Which way are we possibly breaking out of the box? It doesn't even matter because we're going to make so much money on GameStop and AMC hitting a new all-time high in the next couple months that, like, why are we even doing this, folks? Dude, we're all like, dude, these shares are going to be trading at $1 million a share. That's what they're trading at in the dark pools right now. They're trading at millions of dollars a share. That's the real book. That's the real price. And they're just hiding the real price from us because they're trading in dark pools and they're hiding it with short ladder attacks. Like, dude, we're all going to be multi-gazillionaires. Like, as soon as they just stop hiding price, they're just hiding the price on us. Can you believe that? Can you believe they're just hiding the price in dark pools on us with short ladder attacks? Dude, as soon as it gets out, GameStop to buy Microsoft. Oh, I heard they're buying Microsoft and Apple and half of Tesla. And the other half of Tesla's going to AMC. That's what I heard. That is 100% what I heard. I mean, if you ask me, I think they should buy Nvidia too. But that's just my opinion. Dude, I don't know what to do. Mag 7 tilting a little. SPY. The SPY's not doing dog shit, brother. All right. I'm watching this little mini trend from 1038 to 1048. The past 10 minutes of lower highs and higher lows, watching a bit of this consolidation. I want to know which way the consolidation breaks. Once again, lower highs, higher lows, that is by definition consolidation. Means no one knows what the hell we are doing. We have these lower highs, we have these higher lows. We are on the bottom of this.
Order filled.
I'm taking a stab at it. My risk is these recent highs, and if I go about whatever 20, 25, 30 points in the money, I will just move my stop to break even. We're going fishing. I took a short at 21,200. Actually, I guess my fill is at 98. It's... Oh, wait. What the fuck? Okay. I guess these are all... No, I needed to come back. I'm only trading on one account. I fucked up. That's not good. No, I just need to close it out. Shit. Apex, my trade copier didn't work. Where the fuck is my trade copier? Oh. Why are you not working? I just closed it out and I'm reopening it right now. All right. Well, that's a bummer because I would have been... That's a huge bummer. Fuck. Well, now I have to wait for some sort of bounce. Fuck me, dude. Dude, after all of that, after having the patience to wait and for this move, and I could have already been break. Son of a bitch, dude. I could have moved it to break even. I would already have a free play right now. I fucked it up. After all of that patience and waiting just to fucking fumble it. I would literally have the free play. I'd move my stop to break even right now. Fuck me. Well, that's a painful one. That's a painful one. Son of a bitch. Oh, fuck. That's what I get for bashing Jimmy. What do you mean bashing Jimmy? I just said it's literally worth millions of dollars a share. It's going to buy Apple, Microsoft, and half of Tesla. It's trading at millions of dollars in the dark pools, dude. You think I was shitting on it? Dude, I'm trying to tell you guys the truth. I'm trying to tell you the truth about it. Sorry you guys can't handle the truth. Fuck. I would have been up $600. That's going to be a painful one. That's going to be a painful one. Well, whatever. All right. I can't feel that bad. I would have just been knocked out for break even. Let's see if we get a VWAP rejection. Then I can actually replay that. Maybe this was meant to be. Maybe I was meant to play the VWAP rejection. Like I said, I wasn't going to arbitrarily chase it because of the chance of it retesting VWAP. So maybe it pumps up and starts to fail again, and I could take advantage of that. Here's a look at the flow. Dude. Yeah, we're bouncing right off that low from yesterday. Are we going to be coming back into this? Mag 7 took a bit of a dip, but we are right now real-time popping. SPY, it's popping, but it's not. What the fuck? This pop's a little bit bigger. Well, I can't complain that much. By accident, one of these accounts made 170, but I definitely would have been stopped out. People are loving this VWAP recapture. What in the world? What am I missing? Look at, dude, they're ravenously buying it off the low from yesterday. And also the VWAP. Look at, to the point that we broke down, hit that low, and now we're already on the top side of consolidation. Holy shit. They're popping this thing, folks. They're popping this thing. Even this, yeah, a little fake out there, right back up into this chop zone that we've been in for so incredibly long. I could widen it a little bit just so you could see it. Wow. Wow. Well, some sort of buy program just got triggered at 10:57. They got them to do something. They got them to do something. Well, we've actually popped so much that I don't know necessarily if I want to fade this now. That might just be the classic fake out breakdown, trap the people into chasing it, and then pop it. Today's become a very, very messy day. A very, very messy day. Here's a look at the flow. Mag 7 flat. NASDAQ did dump, popped. Let's see if it gives it back or not. Then going over to the SPY, same thing. It dumped, popped, and now we're just going sideways. So the bear camp successfully got a retest of the low, but then also successfully the bulls defended it, and we popped right back up into this chop purgatory zone from hell that we've been in for seemingly ever. Wow. I'm surprised with the strength of the bulls to get this right back out. Options are still flat. They're not really giving us an indication of follow through. Holy gee willikers there. The 5-minute and the 10-minute back to the EMA testing. 30-minute, 4 hours still bearish. 5-minute and 10-minute did test on the NASDAQ and then quickly pop back on the bullish side. Very quickly. Yeah, we're just in this chop bullshit. Is this just one of those things that's enough of a move to fuck everyone over? Is this one of those chop days where it just bends over everyone? US to sell 70 billion 5-year note auction May. Okay. If you say so. How much did we dip on this? Oh, we really pulled back. We did like a 90% pullback. We almost got to the start of this range. The pump started at 949. We almost did a full retracement to that at 58. We got to 66. So a 95% retracement. Jesus. And now it doesn't know what it wants to do. And now bullish, 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 bullish. Going bullish, testing, bearish, bearish. Flat. Oh, the SPY delta is now picking up from that flush at 1056. The new hour is seemingly bringing in buyers on the SPY. Puts are flat, calls are trending upward, but we're still in the box. We're still in the box. We're not only in that box, we're in a box within a box because we're also in this box, a larger box. It's maybe a fake out breakdown. Man, that fight back was impressive. And now we are literally just going sideways. Market has no fucking clue what it's doing today, folks. Has no clue. That's only 15-point risk. That's not a bad risk. Fuck it.
Order submitted.
I'm taking a stab at it, folks. I don't know, dude. Made a killing off D-Wave this past year. Cool. So I'm actually buying it on this recapture of the red to green on the S&P 500. Obviously, I'm executing the long trade via the NASDAQ just because the NASDAQ is on a relative basis stronger. But my reasoning for the trade is an attempt at this recapture. Basically, I'm noticing this fake out breakdown and then a recapture of a key level. I'll be looking for this test of 50. I'm actually going to be setting an alert there if I can. Add alert. And then it might get rejected there. If it looks like we're getting rejected, then I'm taking my money. But if it pumps, I mean, even this, we have a 53. So I'm watching this region between 50 and 53. 50 is a key open interest level. And then just today, we have some support and we have resistance, resistance, resistance at 53. So I'm watching this 3-point region here if the previous closing value can hold. I like that the market push it. That's a real move. Bots are going to react to it of like officially in the green. The SPX is above where we closed yesterday. So I'll be watching this 3-point region. But once again, that's a giant if we could hold this, and hopefully I don't run into some extreme amount of selling. I'm thinking about being Palantir's going. I'm thinking about being really aggressive with the stop and moving it up to this recent shelf at 22. Should I just do that? 27, actually. I'm long at 50. So that would only be a $500 risk. Really what I want to do is see a pump above some of these previous highs. Like, I just want to see us take out whatever the fuck this is, 65. On a push to 65, I'll definitely at minimum move it to 27. I might even move my stop to break even, and then I have a free play. I might have a free play, but I was, like I said, I know I'm executing it on the NASDAQ, but my reasoning was I had those alerts go off here on this recapture, an EMA recapture on the S&P 500, which on a relative basis was weaker. So it was more of this pump that triggered my entry. And I just thought, hey, maybe it'd be smarter to play it on the relatively stronger asset, but we are, as of right now, not seeing any follow through. So I need to mark that out. I need to mark this out. And then on the NASDAQ, yeah, 65. I definitely need this to take out 65. And then ideally not make this fresh low. What is that, 66? Do I really want to risk 66? Or do I want to lower my odds of accuracy but then take on less risk? That's inherently going to be the trade-off. The 5-minute, I like that pop. I like that pop. I did like this recovery, the 10-minute taking out the past 1, 2, 3 highs. We had this dip. I think it's a good shot. We're pushing the top of this zone. I don't dislike it. A little bit of a sweep there. I could move my risk right now up to this low, and just as long as it doesn't push, that would be a bit aggressive, but not the most insane thing. Not the most insane thing. I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it. I do like that we are on top of the closing value. I'm looking for a breakthrough from this 3-point region. I just need us to take out. I like the pullback. I didn't chase it up here. I actually tried to play this and fucked it up, and that actually ended up being a blessing in disguise. I just need us to take out 65, 66. 65, 66. Come on. Just do it. All right. Just do it. We're almost there. You could do it, Tonto. You can do it, Tonto. You can do it. Part of me really wants to move my stop up to this right here, 23. If I move it up, my risk becomes like $500 and some change, which is completely manageable. Completely manageable. But we're starting to wick at these recent highs, so people are reacting to it. They're reacting to some of these recent highs, which I am not the biggest fan of. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour looking good. 5-minute trying to go bullish, 10-minute trying to go bullish, 30-minute is still bearish, but we did put in a higher low and it just broke above the previous 30-minute bar. So I'd be looking for ES to go back up to 5875. If I were trading ES right now, that would be my target. Yeah, 5875, the recent crap that we saw in post and pre-market trading. All right, want it to take out 67. And the NQ's not getting that follow through I want to see right now. I want it. Look at this shelf that we were creating. All right, the Mag 7 is flat. The NASDAQ from 1057 trying to upswing a little bit. Oh, look at all those calls. Out of nowhere, the SPY really started to pop. A lot of calls purchased on the SPY starting at 1058. So for whatever reason, people were waiting for the change of the hour from 10 to 11. And then we just got this call like right here, 1057 up until 1008. There was a 10-minute buy program of 0 DTE calls. Just big upswing there. Big upswing. And now what's interesting is they've almost flipped. Now the SPY's on the top side of its chop zone and the Qs are still within its chop zone. Palantir's looking good. Also Tesla's looking pretty good. What an interesting day we are getting. What an interesting day we are getting. I would love to take all my risk off the table. Unfortunately, I am down by 10 points. Unfortunately. Well, I like that the SPY is above the close. I like that the SPX is above the close. Unfortunately, we haven't even tested this 3-point resistance quite yet, and that's going to be the next test. It would look real bad if we don't even get to test it. That would not be so bueno, mi amigo. This right here between 850 and 853. Right here, this 853. 850 is the open interest level. 853 is the intraday resistance. Would not be so good if this is the way we had this fake out breakdown. If this is a fake out breakout, this might just be a day of Chop City bullshit, folks. Palantir's looking good though. Life would have been easier just to buy any of these dips on Palantir and not even fuck with the overall market today. Not even to fuck with it. What does it mean if calls are getting bought but price isn't moving? What do you mean? Price moved that entire... I'm not even going to answer that question. The basis of the question is literally just wrong. Like, I literally showed you the price and the call buying perfectly overlapped with time, and you're blind. What the fuck? Dude, some of these fucking questions that I get drives me up a wall. Drives me up a fucking wall. Way too many undecided candles today. Yeah, I guess so. All right. Final 3 minutes of the show today. Giving you the extra 15. What do we have going on? All right, I'm going to set that alert. This alert. And then ideally, we do not hear these alerts. Ideally, we do not hear those alerts. All right. So pretty tight range. I want to know if we're pushing higher or if we're getting a little bit smacked. NASDAQ is flat. Mag 7 is flat. SPY is pumped to flat. Palantir. Jesus, what a monster. 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bearish, 4 hours bearish, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour, all bullish on the NASDAQ. The issue is we cannot get above this previous 30-minute bars high for some reason. We are struggling around 65. We are on the struggle bus near 65. So, I don't know. On an intraday basis, I am tentatively bullish just because we bounced dramatically off yesterday's low and came back above the chop zone. But with that being said, we're back in the chop zone and the Qs never escape the chop zone. So that's why I'm saying it is tentatively, like it is like barely on the side of the bulls there. The fact that we made some fresh highs on the SPY, that's good. That's constructive. What's not so constructive is the fact that we're getting no follow-through. Apparently, all the follow-through is exclusively for Palantir, which is up 4% today. Is that a new all-time high on Palantir? Dude, we're still just fucking chopping. Where's Palantir? Where's the daily? No, 133. We're at 125. Dude, looking good, though. Palantir is looking good. Looking good. Someone says head and shoulders. I have no idea what you're looking at that you're possibly seeing a head and shoulders. I don't know the asset. I don't know the time frame. I basically have no fucking clue what you're talking about. But yeah, sure, dude. Head and shoulders. Why not? If you want me to agree with you blindly, I am here for that. SPX. Even that's choppy. The current options trades today are suggesting a ceiling at 58.75 and a base at 5,800. So most likely, not a guarantee, but statistically, it's more likely than not that we close within that 75-point region between 5,800 on the low side and 5,875 on the high side. Why not buy the bottom and sell the tops? I was going to try that strategy tomorrow. I was going to give that strategy the old college try tomorrow. Okay, we are coming up to VWAP here. Do I just want to bail on this? Like, the SPY, we had a fake out breakdown, now followed by a fake out breakout. The Qs couldn't even follow through on it. Either we bounce here at VWAP or we're going down, team. Mag 7 slightly tilting down. SPY is also trending down. All that was bought up, starting to sell at 11.15. Starting to sell at 11.15. I don't know. The Qs are starting to look. The Qs, which were kind of keeping us sane today, are now on the bottom side of their range. What the hell is happening today, folks? What is this? This is one of the most choppy, indecisive bullshit days we've seen in a minute. In a long minute, actually. I might just get the fuck out, take my 40-point hit, my 30-point hit, and call it a day and just not have to deal with this headache. Because that is all this is right now, is a gigantic headache. What the fuck? Is this going to just be another fake out? We dip just to screw over more people and we bounce out of it? Or are we actually going to go? I don't even necessarily care at this point which direction the trend is in. I just want there to be a trend. Is that really too much to ask for? Is that too much to ask for? Now, the Qs are leading us lower. I might just ditch this. I'm going to give it a second to see if we could bounce at VWAP. We're literally at VWAP right now. So if we could put in this higher low, that might be interesting, which is why I'm not arbitrarily pulling the ripcord right now, because we have a key psychological level, 21,200 around value, and it's also perfectly aligned with VWAP. So there is a chance this gets defended, which is why I'm just not randomly bailing, but I am down 33 points, 32 points, about $600, a manageable loss. If I have to take the hit, I have to take the hit, but I'm going to give it a second. Do we get a higher low or not? We'll find out. I'm giving it one quick second to breathe because nonetheless, we are just in this bullshit chop zone. Palantir's holding up. Mag 7 is doing absolutely nothing. Nasdaq is doing nothing. SPY is potentially bouncing here. In reality, if I went long, I should have been long at 20, not at 50. This would have been the buy. A bounce off of VWAP. You're risking 200. You're in at 220. It just recaptured EMA, but you bought on this bar. You have $20 or 20 points of risk, only $400. I should have been, I got in here probably out of boredom. I mean, even this was a decent rebuy at 37. I feel like in retrospect, going long at 37 and risking VWAP or being patient and waiting for VWAP and then going long at 20 and risk, like those would have both been better. So in the best case scenario, I could have improved my entry by 30 points, which would be major, or at minimum, I could have improved it by 12. So in terms of being like self-critical, in terms of real-time trades, those are probably the two realistic ways that I should have gotten into this rather than going for this breakout. I don't know. And now it's just going to be like pure luck. And now it's just going to be pure luck. I'm in at 50. I mean, if I get hit there, that's a 1K loss. Do I really? Right now, I'm risking 1.3, 1.8. I'm risking 1.7, 1.8. I don't want to risk that much. All right, fuck this. I'm moving my risk up. I'd rather, I can survive a 50-point hit. It won't be pretty, but I can. I don't know if giving back more than half my account right now is the smartest move, but looks like I'm just getting purely lucky at this point, like I said. I might even move it up to 25, cut my, my mindset now is just shit got funky, just be smart and protect it. Because I'm now above the buffer. I no longer have to worry about that, the difference between the realized and the unrealized situation. So I'm at the point now where I could just use static risk. And if I just keep getting stopped out, that's completely fine if it's at break even or better. I no longer have to worry about that difference. You don't have to worry about that delta difference between the unrealized high and the realized high as soon as you get above the buffer at like 2.5 or 2.6K or whatever the fuck it is. But the fact that my accounts are all in 53 means, fortunately, I could actually play with better risk management, and as soon as I want, move my stop to break even and just basically go fishing on the day, which is why I'm in a weird way kind of eyeing up 22 here. So the system is saying use 85. The system is using 85. VWAP traders would probably use 99. Technical traders would use this recent low. And old Mateo right here, trying to be risk adverse, I'm looking at this recent shelf that we recaptured in this EMA. I'm kind of looking at somewhere between 20 and 25 of moving it up, which would be literally cutting my risk in half. Oh. Will it get... We got the higher low. I could also use this trend line. That's not the craziest way to do it. Something like that. Just keep following this trend line up until we hit like 75, and then at 75, just jump it up to break even. That's another risk way I could do it, but that was taking on too much risk. How are we looking over here? How are the flows and everything? We're trying to break out of the box. Tesla's going. Palantir's going. Mag 7's picking back up. SPY's picking back up. Oh, brother. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Oh, brother. All right, if you are in the Discord, Piper just fired on that push there. I just loaded it up. Pay attention to the strength of the signal and obviously the direction and obviously the strikes. All right, we just got that fresh high. I really am tempted. I really am tempted. How can I manage my risk a little bit better? I think it's a little... I could manage it better if I just got a better fill and wasn't fucking being stupid at 1104. I could have waited for either 1107 or 1119, with 1119 being the optimal just VWAP bounce. I mean, fuck, I'd almost be at what I literally would be for my max profit on the day. And instead, I'm just hoping that this inverse shoulder, head, shoulder plays out because we're at the neckline now. We're at... Ooh, hang on. Let's start talking about some measured targets. Okay, so from the low, we're already up 50%. What is this? That's 95. 95 would be a pretty solid target here. 21,295. But we are not holding this chop zone, unfortunately. Oh, here SPX is battling it out at that. Remember, I was telling you this 3-point region between 50 and 53. Yeah, we're right at the top of the transition zone. This is a 50-50 shot, folks. You either get rejected at resistance or you break out. No one on this planet can definitively tell you which way it will go. I was hoping we were testing 53. Instead, we are just clearly reacting to 50. Fuck. We tagged 50, and then profit takers are literally in real time are stepping into the market. That's not so good. No follow through. Attempt number 18 fucking thousand was rejected. And it's getting swiftly rejected. Swiftly rejected. Maybe I should have moved that stop to break even. I might have a shot as long as we keep with this succession of higher lows. As long as we don't pierce that, I might have a shot. 48. Dude. Yeah, people directly reacting to retouching 50 right here, which is exactly why I called it out. What is this massive red candle? What are you talking about, dude? Where on the chart do you see a massive red candle? If today could be almost perfectly defined as like range bound choppy nothing, and we have a bunch of fucking crybabies in here saying a massive red candle. The only way you would think that this is a massive red candle is if this is actually your first day of trading and you don't know what you're talking about, which based on your previous comments, I would not be surprised if this is your first day. Here, I don't know. It's just massive red candle. What a fucking baby. What a baby. What a baby. Well, it's just chop, folks. We are in the purgatory of Chop City. Every time it looks like it wants to get going, it simply does not. Hey, like, look at that. Just really since 1020, we're like knocking on the door of a breakout, rejected. Knocking on the door of a short-term bond auction just happened at 11:30. And apparently it wasn't good. We just had a short-term bond auction, which generally is not impactful. It's the 4-week bond auction. And I don't know if I've ever seen people give a shit about it. I just got tagged
Order
out.
canceled.
What the fuck just happened? Well, I'm happy I moved my risk up. What was the results of the auction? Was it an overreaction and we just bounced right here and I unfortunately got wicked out? That's why I put stops in, because if that just kept puking, I could have lost my accounts. I'm waiting. Before I let you guys go, I'm waiting for the results of this. Of course, it wicks me out and then bounces to basically where I would have been break even. Of course. That's how it works. Because why would it work any other way? I still don't see the results. I can't find the results, but initial reaction was clearly down. For the 4-week bond auction? Seriously? That's what the market's going to react to today? The fucking 4-week? Huh. Color me surprised. we just keep pushing on VWAP here. Fake out breakdown, test 1, test 2. Makes you wonder if the third test is not going to hold. I got clocked for 50 points as soon as we made that fresh low, which happened right off the news, which I don't mind because if it kept going, I could have lost my account. So like it sucks to take a hit, but in reality, that's why you have stops, is because of events like this. Dude, are bond auctions just going to be like ruining our life from here on out? Is this just like bond auction? And that's not even the main bond auction of the day. The main one is in 90 minutes at 1 p.m. That the auction that happened when it's in the morning, it's short-term stuff that generally the market doesn't give a fuck about. I don't know if I've ever seen the market react to like these short-term bullshit auctions. I'm still trying to find any of the news for you. No, I mean it was generally so non-important that it's not even being reported. But the market, oh, right here, the bid to cover was 2.78 and the previous was 2.91. That's not good. When your bid to cover drops, that means that there's, relative to the previous auction, there is less interest in it. And that was for the 4-week bill. Once again, the bid to cover was 2.78 and the previous one was 2.91. So when the bid to cover drops, that's not good. And then when you see, and the yield is the same, 4.22 versus 4.22. So it wasn't on a relative basis as disastrous as yesterday. The numbers themselves were better, and also it's a less important auction. The 4-year or the 4-week is far less important than the 20-year. But the bots, probably because of yesterday, had a dramatic overreaction to the bid to cover coming in less. So relative to the last, what is it? Bid to cover 4.78, 85. Yeah, the 4.22. So the yield was in line. So it's not as dramatic as we saw yesterday. And it's also a completely different time frame. Once again, the one yesterday was the 20-year. What just happened at 11:30 was the 4-week. It is a far, far less important one. A far less important one. And yet, it still cost me 50 points. Still cost me 50 points. Dude, I'd literally be basically back to break even. Just a little VWAP kiss. A little VWAP kiss. Dude, I cannot make sense out of any of this bullshit today. But reminder before I let you guys go, at 1 p.m., so in less than 90 minutes, we have the 10-year TIPS bond auction. That's going to be a bit more impactful, so definitely pay attention to that. Have you had much luck using stochastic indicators and looking for diversions to make trades? No indicator by itself is going to be a profitable indicator. They're only made profitable as a strategy when you pair them with other things. So exclusively trading on RSI, MACD, stochastics, whatever you want to call it, you will not be net profitable if that's the only input you are using for the trade. You need to be able to filter out the false signals from whatever indicator, and generally you could do that with the use of some other either indicator or some other data source. But that there's no one indicator by itself that is good enough to be profitable in the long run. It just isn't. You have to use it with some other pieces of information. Wow, I cannot get over what the fuck just happened. I would be back to break even. I was tagged out at 202 and it went down to 99. It was tagged out by a total of 3 fucking points. Just my luck. Just my luck. All right, the SPY's back to the top of its range right here. Granted, having a tough time at 50. 5-minute, 10-minute sideways, 30-minute bearish, 4-hour bearish, 5-minute, 10-minute sideways. On the bullish side of things, 30-minute sideways, trying to go bullish. 4-hour is still bullish. This is just a fucking chop fest, folks. We have not seen such an extreme chop city situation in many moon. In many moon. I actually am kind of interested in this structure right here. We have two upsloping trend lines that the first one created. Actually, you could even draw this out. Will these give way? You could also draw this out at this point. What's going to snap first? This downsloping trend line or these upsloping trend lines? This first one already had a fake out breakdown. And more important than that is the risk you are taking on for the trade, which isn't bad. Literally, you could just use these recent highs. But granted, if you go long, you could also use these recent lows. So no matter how you dice it up, you have pretty evident risk points to admit when you were right or wrong. Maybe a breakout? Perhaps? Perhaps, perchance? Perhaps, perchance? Here's a look at the flow. Mag 7 is still flat. SPY is picking up. We're testing that 51-53 zone on SPX. It's trying to get back out of this transition zone after a battle that has taken for fucking ever. Is it just getting rejected again? Dude, what the fuck is today? What in the world is going on today? Nothing. So the Qs from 10:20 until now have done nothing, as in an hour and a half plus of doing nothing. The SPY had a fake out breakdown, followed by a fake out breakout, followed by maybe a real breakout? Question mark? No one fucking knows. 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish. The 30-minute has made some higher highs. Well, it is a succession of higher lows. But look, it's just so sideways. And so look at this, 10:07. So the market went flat at 10:10. Options went flat at 10:07. Just nothing. Just nothing's going on. We do have at 11 the SPY picking up a bit here. What the fuck is this, guys? Well, feels like today is a bunch of fucking nothing. I took a trade and got busted up on it, hit my max, a loss per unit of 50 points. And I might do one more trade today if this thing can actually show me why I should be bullish. But also I might just leave it at where I am. But if you want to trade with someone else's money, lower your risk, check out Take Profit Trader. It's the current best deal. Use that code Goonie. If you don't apply Goonie, you're going to have to pay a lot more. So save 30% and also get the extra of no activation fee. pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. So that's the link, but remember to put in that code Goonie. We will post an update video today after the market closes, and then we will be streaming once again tomorrow morning, Payday Friday. I hope to see you folks there. Be careful today. It's choppy. It's a mess. We're not really seeing anything too exciting. So if you see it, make sure you're taking advantage of low risk, high reward opportunities. Other than that, do not try to don't try to force a trade that isn't there, because this is just not a trending day. That's what I have for you right now. Shout out to Take Profit Trader. I will catch you guys later tonight in the update video, and then again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early. I hope to see you there. Best of luck. I hope you crush it. Make a shitload of money. Peace.